It's your dog. Gonna make another tier list. I haven't done a tier list for this version of the game yet, and this could be the last day of this version of the game because the season does end tomorrow, and they usually drop patches after the season ends. And also, they said they're gonna keep doing bounce patches. No more DLC, but they did say they'll keep doing bounce patches. But let's go ahead and do a tier list for this version of the game. So, what are we gonna name the tiers? So S tier, that makes sense. We'll have a little A plus tier. A plus got 100% on the test. A little A tier, and then we'll have B, and then we'll have C. Okay, so we'll go from left to right down this list. We're not just gonna go like top one and down. I'm gonna go left to right. So Liu Kang, Liu Kang's pretty good. He's got good projectiles. He's got good mix-ups with like his safe mid and then grab combos. And then also he's got a 6-frame button, which is really strong, can punish a lot of things other characters can't. And he can do it safely, right? Like, you have a character like T1000 or Lee Mei. If they try to go for their like quick punish and like it's a little off or there's a little extra pushback, they'll get full comboed and lose a bar. Lou, he can just throw out his 1-2, you know what I mean? So that's really good. I think where Lou struggles is his like mid-range game, right? Like he doesn't have buttons to go very far. He has like the worst jump-ins in the game. So if you get in a situation with Lou where like, say for zoom in a bit, okay. If you get in a situation with Lou where like, say like you're getting outzoned or they have the life lead and you have to go in, then I feel like he really struggles, right? Like he really struggles at getting offense off at that point. But like if you're playing a matchup with Lou where like you outzone the other character, you make the other character come in, they got to come into your mid and full combo grab mix up. I feel like he's still really good. Um but because of his big weakness with his like mid-range game and like his tools for getting in, I do think he's not top tier. So I would say he's around like A plus tier. Now Sub-Zero is a character I don't have too much experience with or against. I do feel like he has good space control with like the clone, the push, puddle. Like his down one's like the best down one in the game. So he's really good at counter poking. The only thing I would say about Sub is like also his damage is really good now since the last patch. Only thing I'd say about Sub is like he's not like a very cheap character. Maybe with like certain characters he can be pretty cheap, and right now we're in like a mixed meta. Now people say like they say, oh, Liu Kang is like too honest, stuff like that. I actually disagree. I feel like his mids, like his staggerable safe mids, combined with the juicy throw combo, I would say it's dirtier than anything I've experienced against Sub-Zero. You know what I mean? Um, which you can still throw Chameleon on Sub and get some good mix-ups. A lot of people have been putting Sonya on Sub and getting like really good damage, adding to his space control with the rings and stuff like that. And you can throw in that reactable overhead here and there. Maybe it'll catch. And you can get armor combos too with that team as well. And Sub-Zero, really good armored move. But overall, I would say Sub's a pretty mid-tier character. Might even move him down to B, but we'll put him mid-tier for now. I would say, yeah, with like his best cameos, I would say he's a pretty mid-tier character. Now, Scorpion's really strong, right? Like he's got really good neutral, really good buttons, really high damage. And his kit is like, he's one of the more cameo-dependent characters in the game. Like his kit is pretty incomplete by itself. But, luckily for him, you can always pick a cameo. And with a lot of cameos, he's really strong. You can either like use a cameo for like block string pressure or like combos off his armor, stuff like that. But most people in like the current meta, they'll use Pharah with him to give him like a crazy mix-up game off of his back three. Because back three has a lot of like block stuns, so you can only armor back three into Pharah. And that's really, really strong. It's one of the best like neutral tools in the game, really good mix-up. And you don't want to hold that mix-up, so you'll sit there jumping. You'll sit there like trying to jump back three or something. And then he has amazing anti-airs, leads into high damage, stuff like that. So I would say, I don't know, I feel like Scorpion's pretty top tier. He blends into the meta really well. Really good mix-ups, really good buttons, really good damage. I don't think he's like the best character in the game. I don't even think he's like top 3, nothing like that. But I do think he's top tier. I feel like he fits into this meta very well. Now, Katana I don't have much of an opinion on. She's one of the characters I've fought the least on the last couple of versions of the game since I got back into playing. She just definitely has a really good neutral though. Really good like disjointed buttons. She has some good like set play in the corner with her bomb move. Launches with armor. Um, I feel like if she was like a little cheaper, she would be top tier maybe. But this is just me spitballing. Again, Katana I'm very inexperienced against, so my opinion shouldn't hold too much weight. I would put her above Lou, just because of like how scary her neutral is, her conversions, damage, launching off armor, block strings, stuff like that. Another thing about Katana you gotta consider as well is a big drawback that she has, and what people use to downplay is they'll say, "Oh, she has a lot of gaps. Like her mid, her big like half screen disjointed mid has a gap." Gaps don't mean that much in this meta because most meta characters and teams are not launching with their armor. There's a couple, right? Like Sector. Even if you want to go like slightly outside the meta, like Ermac launches with his armor. Again, Katana herself launches with their armor, but in general, you look at like the super top tiers like Cyrax, Homelander, Havoc, Scorpion, Sindel, T1000, like the characters you're seeing at tournaments and stuff, they're not really launching with their armor. So having a little gap that they could armor, it's not bad on this meta because you could bait the armor, you get a full combo, and if you don't bait the armor and they hit you, it's like, they got like 11%. It's not really that big of a deal, and now they can't break. So having like little gaps and stuff like that, it's not as big of a deal as it was back in the meta where we had like Goro on like Lau and Tanya, and those were really strong teams that you would see a lot. Um, it's not as big of a deal now. Okay, so Johnny's still really good, right? Still got some of the best buttons in the game. You can't really zone him. His ability to approach is like, he's the polar opposite of Liu Kang, right? Like, Liu Kang, if you have to approach, like, it's like miserable. Johnny's the opposite. He's got like the best jump in the game, really good forward movement, really good pokes, 9-frame mid, really good advancing plus high, um, decent damage, good pressure, good synergy with Tremor to give him a little extra health and some mix-ups. So I would say Johnny is, I don't know. I feel like he's pretty top tier, I think. I know Connie put him like top 3, right? Did Connie put him top 3? I don't know if he's quite top 3, but I think he's pretty high up there, I would say. You also crazy chef. Okay, so Kenshi. All right, so here's the thing about Kenshi, right? So they nerfed him, and I feel like the nerfs were deserved, right? Because he was very toxic for the game, and people would say like, oh, well, Kenshi wasn't winning tournaments. I feel like it was kind of a case of like Shiva and MK11. Like Shiva and MK11 at her peak was not winning tournaments. Like, yeah, like even Tigers with Shiva, who was like the premier Shiva, making everyone bitch and moan, was not winning tournaments with Shiva. She wasn't like the best character in the game, you know what I mean? But she was very toxic. Like, you couldn't imagine like a new player logging on, fighting Shiva, and then wanting to stay on MK. You know what I mean? They're uninstalling. Kenshi was kind of the same way, right? He was really top tier. He was like top 5, I would say. But there was always a character in the meta that was better, that would outshine him. A few characters usually. But that didn't mean he didn't need nerfs, right? Like, he's so toxic. Could you imagine like a new player getting put in the Sento sandwich and then not uninstalling and going back to Fortnite or Apex? You know what I mean? So the nerfs made sense, but now that he's nerfed, he's left in kind of a weird spot, right? Because he's still got some of the best offense in the game once he gets a hit, because you are still guessing a few times before you get out, unless you can maybe find a tricky spot to armor. And he still has really high damage, and he still has good buttons, but the problem is outside of when he's got you in that Sento sandwich, he's playing a really like an extremely honest like style of play, right? Like mids, highs. Even when you can get a throw combo with him with a cameo, he doesn't really have a good shimmy like Liu Kang does. So it's like they could tech you on reaction, especially offline. So he's playing a very like MK11 style of gameplay, like very watered down MK11 honest style of gameplay outside of when he has you in the Sento sandwich. So I think because of that, and because we're in a meta where like, like a character we already placed, like Scorpion, all he has to do is make you block back 3 and you're in a blender. You know what I mean? Whereas Kenshi actually has to get the hit, and then also he has to chase a lot against a lot of the cast, has some tricky matchups there. So I would say overall Kenshi is pretty mid tier now. Still really strong offense, stuff like that. I don't think he's bad, but I think just his offense is still top tier, but just his drawbacks drop him quite a bit. Whereas like the top tiers, they don't actually have those drawbacks. All right, so Kung Lao. So Kung Lao's pretty good. I mean, he's got his plus jab string that's hit confirmable. He's got decent mix-ups. He's got really high damage. His neutral is kind of a struggle, but you can use a cameo to cover that up. Like you could use like Sector, like Kale did to win CEO. You could use Sonya to get like rings to help you in neutral plus armored launcher. Overall, though, I would say like Lao isn't nearly as cheap as the top tiers. So I would say he's around like right here. I would say where I would put him. Okay, so Melina. Melina's got some of the highest damage in the game, some of the best mix-ups in the game. Um, she's also got little safe like baby mix-ups as well, which are really good. She's got disjointed normals. Her full screen presence isn't the best, but you can supplement that with a cameo. Overall, I'm not sure where I would put Melina. I would put her like either top of A plus or bottom of S. We'll put her top of A plus for now. All right, so Raiden. Raiden's decent. Like he's got decent buttons. He's got good mix-ups. You can combo a cameo, but he's got to use like the whole cameo to get that going. Otherwise, they're like 7%, overhead, stuff like that. His neutral game's not the greatest, even though he does have decent buttons. I feel like Raiden's just very middle of the pack right now. I feel like Raiden's just very middle of the pack. He's not bad, right? Like you throw a Sector on him, you do double missile in the mix-up, you kind of play the lame game patient until you get it back. But overall, I feel like the other characters above him, they have better tools that are more readily available. Yeah, I think lose A plus still, yeah. Okay, so Rain. So I feel like Rain's really strong. Like he's got disjointed normals. And they're big normals too. He's got some of the highest damage in the game. He's got a really good throw combo, and he can shimmy you really well too. So you can't just tech that all day. And plus, he's using Janet, so forward throws are going to become free, and those do 14%. So I feel like Rain's really good. But Rain players say he has a lot of bad matchups, so I'm just going to kind of believe him. Because tool-wise, I feel like Rain's kind of up here. And obviously, I play T1000, and as good as T1000 is, like, T1000 plays Rain's game, you know what I mean? Like, he's not running away from Rain, he's not making neutral annoying for him. So I'm just going to believe them about his matchups being bad and put him, like, right here. Even though I would probably want to put him a little bit higher. Okay, so Smoke. Smoke, again, like, he has a lot of little gaps, but they're not too bad because we're not in an armored launching meta. But there are some that you could, like, up-block, which sucks for him. And, I don't know where to put Smoke because he has decent buttons. He does really high damage. But I don't know. I feel like other characters are just better. Like, they don't have, like, the unblockable gaps he has. They have a little bit cheaper mix than he has. Better neutral than he has, you know what I mean? So, I feel like Smoke is good, but I don't know. I would place him, like, mid-tier for right now. Okay, Li Mei. So, Li Mei has really high damage. She has decent mix-ups. She has really good conversions. She has a fast Punisher, which her Punisher doesn't have travel time. Like T1000, like if you're trying to punish something that's -7, if it has a little bit of pushback, or if it has like a breathing hurt box, you won't get the punish, and then you'll get punished. Whereas Li Mei is like instant. Like it instantly travels the full length. So that's really good. But the thing about her is she's kind of got that Liu Kang problem where she's got really stubby buttons. So if you end up having to be the one that goes in, she's going to struggle a bit. I still think she's really good, though. And kind of underrated. I would put her, like right here-ish. I think she's still underrated and pretty good. All right, so Baraka. So Baraka... Man, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Baraka these days. Like, he's good, right? Like, he's not terrible. Like, he's got disjointed normals. He's got, yeah, I don't fucking know. Like, Baraka in this meta is so weird because, like, like, on paper, he's got decent stuff. Like, he's got, like, disjointed normals. He's got, I don't know, a good shimmy. I don't know, man. Baraka is just, I don't know. I'm putting him in B tier. I feel like he just doesn't fit into this meta well. Baraka, the best meta for Baraka was whenever it was do something dumb into cameo. Like whenever Striker had a quicker cooldown, whenever Cyrex Helicopter was half a bar. That was the best meta for Baraka because you just do something stupid into cameo. Now we're in a mix meta and he doesn't mix. You know what I mean? You can like throw them to death, like 11, 13% throws. You could try to shimmy him. You could out neutral him with his disjointed normal. So he's not terrible, but I don't know. He's not really fitting into this meta very well, you know? All right, so Tanya. Tanya, I feel like is pretty decent with like certain cameos like Pharah, Chameleon, Motaro. She probably has some good matchups, but overall, I feel like she is pretty lacking right now in the meta, same as Baraka. And I don't know too much about her, to be honest, overall compared to like Baraka, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. I'm just going to defer to what people say, I guess, and like the theories I have. So I'm going to put her around like right here. Didn't a Baraka player win against Sonic? Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like if you go and watch that set, nothing about that set screams Baraka's OP. You know what I mean? Like, he was up blocking Sonic's back two in neutral. Like, it was all just, like, outplays. You know what I mean? But I feel like a lot of people, they'll see the score, and then they'll be like, oh, that character beat Sonic. But, like, if you actually watch the set, there was nothing about that set that made me go, wow, Baraka's actually broke. Like, it was just Sonic got outplayed, like, a lot. Okay, so Geras. Geras is really strong right now. He's got really good mix. He's got really good pressure as well. Because all of his strings, for the most part, into Motaro, which is like plus 13 on block, you can only armor him, and we're not in an armored launching meta, so that's really strong. He does really high damage. His neutral's not the greatest. A big reason you see Gears players running away is his approach options are pretty dog shit. So that kind of holds him back a little bit, but I still feel like he's really good. And I feel like with other characters getting nerfed and stuff, and Motaro getting buffed, he's kind of power crept. Yeah, he has the 1-bar breaker. I feel like that move's a little overrated, but it is still good. Snap's really good. I would put him like around here. Put him like around there. All right, so Reptile. I feel like Reptile is... He's just kind of playing MK11, right? Like, he's a little too honest. Like, nothing really cheap going on with him. Even when he goes invisible, I'm not really scared. His overhead does 5%. Yeah, I don't know about Reptile. Like, he's got decent neutral. He has a chase most of the cast, though. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think Reptile's, like, the weakest character. He's not bad. But, I don't know. I feel like he could use some buffs, personally. Okay, so Havoc. Havoc's really strong, right? Like, out of all the people that are guaranteed for Final Combat, Havoc has the most players in there. He's got really strong neutral. His mix is fuzzyable off of a lot of stuff, but you got to also consider off of his mid, it's not, and that mid's like a half-screen mid with the ghost hitbox. And also, like, he's got plus frame, like, jab string with no gap. He's got really good pokes. Movado really completes his game because not only do you get throw combos, not only do you get really high damage, but you also get sweep combos. And there's a lot of the thing about Havoc is like his mid's really good. It leads into a mix, but it's like 17, 18 frames. So you can't really use that to counter poke. So a lot of times with Havoc, you find yourself like down 4 and down 1-ing to counter poke, which kind of sucks, right? When like, you know, a character like Johnny can check you with a fast mid. But Havoc's sweep is 12 frames and really far. So with Movado, you could check people with mid or with sweep all the time. And it's kind of hard to take your turn back after sweep because it's only like -3 with pushback. And if it lands, you get a full combo with Movado. So that really completes his game. So yeah, Havoc, he's got really good buttons, really good mix, really high damage, really good mind games, really good frame data. So yeah, I feel like he's in that top 1 discussion, I would say. Okay, so Ashra's pretty good. She's just not cheap at all, right? Like she's got really strong neutral. She's got really good strings. Dark stance is pretty good. She's like +1 off everything. It doesn't last that long, but it's still pretty good. She's got one of the best armored moves in the game, which can be really helpful against a lot of these really offensive mixed characters. So I feel like she's good. High damage too. I feel like the only problem with Ashra is she's not really cheap at all, right? Like her overhead's very reactable. Yeah, she does everything really well besides being really cheap, which is like kind of the meta we're in, so that holds her back a lot. I still feel like she's really good though. I'm not gonna put her like too low. I'll put her like top of mid tier. But yeah, she doesn't fit into this meta necessarily. All right, so Sindel. Sindel's really strong, got really good neutral, makes a lot of the casts come to her with her zoning. She's got good disjointed buttons. She's got really strong mix with Tremor and Kung Lao into high damage that she can reset. Yeah, man, I don't know. I feel like Sindel's pretty high up there, to be honest. I feel like Sindel's pretty high up there. She fits into the meta pretty much perfectly. Has great neutral on top of that, so. Alright, so Xiao. Xiao's interesting. He's got really high damage. He's got really good mix-ups, especially since the patch where they made his low, like, cancelable with that charge move. His neutral's a little tricky because he's running a lot of highs, right? He doesn't have like a fast mid that's hit confirmable. But besides that, like Xiao fits into the meta perfectly outside of like having a better mid. If he had a better mid, he'd probably be like top 1. I feel like regardless of that though, he's still really good because you could play around that. Like you could outspace people mashing, you could poke back, get your turn, jail the high, frame trap at 50-50, stuff like that. He works well with a lot of cameos. If you need help getting in, you could use like Sector cameo to get in, and you could also do double missile into mix again on top of that if they block it. So yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like Xiao's really strong right now. Put him like right there. All right, Natara. Now Natara's character I know the least about in the whole game. So this is just gonna be like a truly like a spitball placement. Like I have no idea. Um, I don't know. Whenever I'm fighting Natara, she's like flying around the screen, stuff like that. And then if I get hit, like I'm gonna get put into some crazy damage into like some kind of mix. But I don't know. I feel like if I understood her flight better and all that, I would do a lot better against her. Doesn't seem like her buttons and her neutral are that good. Doesn't seem like her frame data is that good. I just don't understand her that well. So whenever I'm fighting her, I feel like she's insane. But I feel like that's not true. I feel like if I just lab more and knew more stuff, she wouldn't be as good. So I'll put her like, man, I don't even know, bro. Yeah, I'm not going to put anyone in C, so I'm just going to add a, I don't know, tier. I don't know. I don't even know where I would put her. I have no idea. All right, so Shang. So he's like a zoner, but his zoning's not that good. His buttons aren't that good. Doesn't really have crazy mix-ups. He's got a really good armored move. And for a lot of characters that have to come in on him, he can be pretty overwhelming at times. But I don't know. I feel like Shang has less going for him than almost every character in the game. Like, I would almost put him, like, right here. Like, I feel like him or Reptile could be bottom 1. It's not because they suck. It's not because they're, like, absolute shit. But I just feel like they have less going for them than everyone else in the game right now. Let me make this C tier. Because I do feel like Baraka and Tanya are better than Shang and Reptile. All right, so Reiko. Reiko's really good right now. Like, he's got some of the best buttons in the game. Plus, really good frame data. Really good mix-ups. Really high damage. And, yeah, man, I feel like he's really good. But I'm not sure, like, where I would put him. And I feel like the community kind of feels like that as well. Like, I saw, like, Foxy had him bottom 3. Face Sal had him top 3. And then you see Rewind tearing it up in tournaments, doing those huge damage combos with those mix-ups with the command grab. I don't know. I know a bit more about him than I do Natara, so I'm not going to not place him. But I don't know where I would put him exactly. I'll put him like right here. But I'm really not sure. My opinion on that could change soon. I'm really not positive. All right, so Omni-Man. Omni-Man's got really good damage. He's got decent frame data. Not really the best buttons, though. And he can have some decent stuff going on with the right cameo. Like, you could add a cameo to him that could give him some mix-ups and, like, set play. You could add a cameo that could give him, like, some neutral. And that kind of can set him off a little bit. Like, you could add, like, Lao cameo, Serena cameo to help out as neutral. You could add, like, Trimmer or Jax to give him, like, some mix-up, some set play. But even then, I feel like he doesn't have much going for him. Yeah, I feel like he doesn't have a lot going for him, to be honest. So I'm going to put him, like, either top of C, bottom of B. I'll put him top of C for now. Yeah, he just doesn't have too much going for him. Not like an awful character. That's the thing about the low tiers on this game. If you pair him with the right cameo, they're not awful. You know what I mean? Like, Shang, Trimmer's not an awful team. It's pretty good. Reptile Mavado's pretty good. Omni-Man, like, Kung Lao or Jax is pretty good. Trimmer. But, like, I don't know. That everyone else has more stuff going for him, I feel like. Okay, so Quan, he's got really good zoning. Armor Portal is really cheap if you don't know what's going on with it, especially if you don't have XP versus it. It's even cheap if you have XP. But his buttons are really bad. Like, they're really slow. Like, he's got, like, high strings where, like, the second hit's, like, 20 frames. A lot of gaps. Like, gaps in fucking everything, which isn't the biggest deal, but paired with how slow his buttons are, how, like, labored his strings are, how, like, kind of fake his mix-ups are if you lab against them. I don't know. I feel like Quan's pretty bad. I don't know. I feel like Quan's pretty low. I don't know exactly where I would put him. Probably bottom 1. Here's the thing about Quan, though, is he's pretty toxic, right? With, like, the armor portal and the zoning. So even though he's probably bottom 1, if they buff him, he could get insanely cheap and insanely toxic for the game. And in that case, I'll probably main him, because that'd be hilarious. Alright, so Peacemaker. Peacemaker's got good zoning. He's got decent buttons, like his jab string still plus. He's got good movement, too. Like, that's one thing underrated about Peacemaker is his movement's really good. He's got good, like, disjointed pokes. Good cameo synergy with, like, Farah and Jax. He can do, like, dumb stuff into ground pound, dumb stuff into Farah, catching her on the back into, like, an overhead or, like, a little mix-up. And he's got a lot of good matchups, too, like characters that have to go in on him. So, a lot of people think he's, like, really bad. I actually don't. I think he's pretty good. I'm not sure where I would place him exactly. I would say probably, like, around, like, right here. I just feel like he's a lot more solid than a character like Quan. He's got a lot more cheap stuff going on with, like, armor and Farah and, like, his plus jab string, disjointed pokes. I don't know. I feel like he's pretty good. He's definitely not, like he used to be the best character in the game for sure. But he dropped a lot. A lot of people, I feel like they overreacted, put him, like, and they put him, like, bottom tier. Now, I don't think he's bottom tier, but yeah, he definitely dropped a lot. All right, so Ermac. Ermac's really good. Also, I'm kind of Team 1000 brained. So, like, Ermac to me is, like, one of the hardest characters to fight. Because he's so high damage. And I'm playing, like, such a risk-heavy playstyle. And also, I'm, like, kind of playing into Ermac's game. But I got to keep in mind, like, not every character is like T1000. Like, a lot of characters are going to run away from Ermac and make neutral really annoying for him. Because he's not really the best at, like, chasing. And he's got to chase most of the cast. Stuff like that. So I feel like that kind of holds him back from being, like, this super, like, dominant tournament character. But besides that, like, he's got highest damage in the game. He's got armor combos. He's got disjointed normals. He's got cancel pressure that he can use his disjointed normals with. Really good, like, strike throw game as well for mix-ups. And they go for full combos. Like, you can't tech against them. because his jab string will shimmy you. And then forward throws are free to do 14% with Janet. So he's really good. I'm not sure exactly where I would put him. I would put him probably like right here, like top of A+, maybe below Melina. Maybe below Reiko even too. Maybe like right there is where I would put him, I would say. He's one of T1000's harder matchups, I would say. But I gotta keep in mind that, like, he does have a lot of matchups where he's gonna be chasing and the character's gonna make neutral annoying for him, stuff like that. So he's not as good as he seems like when I'm fighting him. I need to keep that in mind. Alright, so Homelander. Homelander's really good, right? Really strong neutral, really good buttons, really good mix with his 17 frame launching command grab. I don't feel like he's like the best character in the game. I know some people feel that way. Foxy does. Some other people feel that way. I feel like maybe Havoc's better. Maybe Cyrax is better. Spoiler alert. But I would put him like right there, I would say, is where I would put him. All right, so Takeda. Takeda's really good, right? Like, he's got some of the highest damage in the game. He's got really good set play with, like, his low kunai after every combo. And he doesn't have to sacrifice much damage to do those setups. And if you guess wrong, you're eating another huge combo. He's got really good, like, throw combos as well. Really good neutral with his disjointed normals. And also, like, I feel like one thing that makes Takeda thrive in this meta is, again, like, we're not in an armored launching meta. Like, Sector launches with armor. And then if you want to go a little bit outside the meta, like Ermac launches with his armor, Katana. But we're not in a launching armor-heavy meta. So the fact that Takeda has a lot of armorable gaps, it's not that big of a deal. And then he's doing so much damage. He's got good neutral. He's got good mix-ups. So I would say the only thing is, like, there's a couple things that hold Takeda back from being the best character in the game in my mind. And it's, you have to land a hit to apply his mix first. Like, he doesn't have mix, like, just in neutral. You know what I mean? He kind of does at times, but, like, to apply his really good mix, you got to land a hit first, kind of like Kenshi. And also, his armor move's the worst in the game. Like, his armor moves shit. But I feel like despite that, like, because of how good his neutral is, because of how high his damage is, and because of how good his mix is after getting a hit, I feel like he's definitely top tier. I'm not sure. I would put him maybe bottom of top tier, I would say, is where I would put him. All right, so Sector. Sector is top tier for sure, right? Like, took down a demigod event, best zoning in the game, best armored move in the meta. Flamethrower into Motaro's really stupid launches, resets the zoning. Decent buttons, meterless combos. I don't know, Sector just forces you to play her game, and she's really good at, like, enforcing it over and over. So even though she's not the cheapest character, like, she just plays the game really well right now, you know, does well against a lot of the top tiers, does well against Cyrax, does well against T1000, does well against Sindel, probably does well against some others too. So yeah, Sector is pretty high up there in my mind. I'd put her, like, around, like, right here. All right, so Cyrax. Cyrax is, like, the prime example of, like, the kind of meta we're in, right? Like, anytime Cyrax is at advantage at all, you're guessing on grab either way, or you're guessing on, like, a safe mid, and either option is going to go into a combo. If you get comboed, you're getting put into, like, a stupid reset where it's like a guess and a guess. And yeah, Cyrax is just really strong. And she doesn't struggle too much at getting it going, right? Because her down three is, like, maybe the best poke in the game. You inch your way in, down three, you landed down three, boom, all of a sudden now they got to guess throw both ways or mid, and then they're in the fucking blender. And then she's got crazy resets with Madame Bo, where it can do like 80%. She's got, you could use Bottle with Madame Bo to help out her neutral. I don't know, I feel like Cyrax is probably the best character. If we're going strictly by results, though, I would say Havoc, because Havoc does have the most players in Final Combat right now. But I don't know, I would say Cyrax is the best character right now. Alright, so Noob. Alright, I'm going to say this. I have the same opinion about Noob and Ghostface. So I'm just going to go both of them right now. So Noob and Ghostface both have some of the best offense in the game. They both have three-way launching mix. And most options aren't going to be punishable. Like Noob's throw is punishable, obviously. Ghostface overhead can be punishable in throw. But it's like three-way launching mix that leads into decent damage. Well, really high damage for Noob and a reset for Ghostface. And yeah, like that's just really strong. It really fits into the meta. The only thing I would say about them is they have a hard time applying it. You know what I mean? Like they don't have a T1000 like 4-3. You kind of have to like get a poke, enter your way and get a poke, play off of what your opponent's doing, and then you get a going. You have to chase the other character. So I feel like for that reason, like it kind of holds them back a little bit. Like Cyrex can throw some bombs out, enter your way in, throw out her long ass down 3. Havoc's got a half screen ghost mid. T1000's got like lasers and forward 4 and 17 frame command grab that goes half screen. T1000's got 4-3. Sindel makes you come to her, so you're walking into her mix. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like other characters have better ways to apply their like dumb mix-ups than Noob and Ghostface. Sub cameo kills Cyrex hard. It really doesn't though, right? Because you got to consider like, say that someone throws up sub cameo like Ice Armor on Cyrax, they still have to guess on grab into cameo or mid. That's still a guess. And then if they guess wrong, it's gone. The Ice Armor's gone. And then the other thing you got to consider is most characters are trash with sub cameo. Most characters have zero synergy with sub cameo. So it's like, imagine you're like a Scorpion player. Scorpion's a character who is really cameo reliant, and then you're picking a cameo he's dog shit with just to counter bombs, and then the Cyrex just grab or mid launches you anyways, and then the Ice Armor's gone, and now you're using a cameo you're dog shit with. So I feel like that doesn't even make sense, really. Um, okay, so yeah, I would put both of these characters like around like right here. I just feel like if their neutral is better, they would be top tier because they do have like some of the best offense in the game, like really good three-way launching mix. But their neutral holds them back a little bit, I would say. Also, Ghostface is really resource dependent. Like I feel like these two characters are like the perfect like pocket characters. Like if you can pull them out in matchups where you're not having to chase 24/7 and stuff like that, like they're really good. Like the way VGY used them at Kama Ricker. Like he was pulling him out against Homelander. Homelander's not a great zoner or nothing like that. He's not a great runaway character. So like Ghostface is it's a perfect time to pull out Ghostface against a character like that. But as like a solo main, like I can't see him being top tier, you know. Alright, so Conan. Here's the thing about Conan, like he's got like the best buttons in the game. Besides maybe like Johnny. He's got really high damage. Got really good conversions. He gets in pretty good. But there's like nothing cheap about him. There's nothing cheap about him. Like he's kind of got to throw you or mid you to death. Which, you know, a good player can do that. A good player can throw you or mid you to death. We've seen Ninja Killa do it to hella people. And then you got like the best buttons on top of that. But I don't know where I would put him overall. I need more XP. I need more XP against Conan. Well, when I say cheap, I mean like launching mix-ups, right? That's what I mean. But obviously his 4-2 is really cheap. I feel like Conan could be top tier despite that. I think he could kind of be like an anti-meta top tier, kind of like Sector. But I'm going to put him in I don't know tier for now. All right, so T1000. All right, y'all might want to close the stream or video before I go over T1000. Nah. But for real, this is my opinion on T1000, all right? So when T1000 released, he was right here. Matter of fact, when he came out, he was right here. That's where he was when he came out. But after the first round of nerfs, I think he was like right here-ish. Like maybe top 1, maybe top 2, maybe top 3. But after the second round of nerfs, I think he's like around like right here-ish. And people are going to hate that. They're going to be like, nah, Tweedy, he's still top 1, stuff like that. And I'm just saying, man, 900 health. Every option's unsafe. Because of the jump 3 nerf, he's now taken longer to kill. So you have to do like one more unsafe option per round than you did before. Command grab's like low-key kind of reactable for PC players, so it might also be offline. But he's still great, right? Disjointed normals, three-way mix-ups. Spike is way worse now. Like, it used to be almost full screen. Now it's about a little over half screen. But it's still really good. Like, Spike is still really good. I just feel like he dropped a little bit, man. And I feel like people who don't think he dropped, they haven't really evaluated him since the patch. They just keep kind of like... I think this is what happened, right? Like, I think he got nerfed, and then he got nerfed again. And then people will play against him, and they'll get mixed, and they'll be like, oh, he's the same. But they're not really, like, analytically breaking down, like, what's different about him, you know what I mean? They're not really analytically breaking down, like, if he really is worse. Like, they're just kind of getting mixed, and then they're getting salty. And then, you know, you think he has the best offense? I disagree. I think Cyrax clearly has better offense. Cyrax clearly has better offense. And, like, Havoc's offense might be a little bit worse, but, like, he's got 150 more health. And also, like, he's mixing you with, like, a ghost hitbox mid. And he can be safe off of one option, you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where I would put T1000. Here's the thing, and here's the thing you gotta consider as well. I'm putting T1000 ahead of... See, you say that 4-3 skips neutral, but I was playing Sonic yesterday, and if I threw 4-3 out in neutral, I was getting full comboed, so... I don't know. And I feel like tier lists are supposed to go off, like, the highest level of skill. So, like, some people, I could throw a 4-3 from full screen, and they'll just somehow get hit by it. But, like, Sonic, like, I have to really be careful with when I throw a 4-3, you know what I mean? So, I don't know. But yeah, that's my tier list, y'all. I'm not, like, the authority on the game or anything like that. Just my opinion. And people want me to do a tier list. If you disagree, that's fine. Keep in mind with T1000, though. Keep in mind with T1000 that I put him higher than Connie. So, I'm not the person putting T1000 the lowest. I think he dropped a little bit, man. I think people aren't really evaluating him. He's still great, though. I still put him, what, 6th in the game? He could still win tournaments. You know, I'm not saying he's bad. But yeah, that's going to be it for my tier list. Appreciate everyone. I think that's going to be it for my stream as well.